Anyway, hello peasants, my name is Stormy. Welcome to hell. For those of you who don't know, I am a huge true crime fan, and I'm posting this. This is the first video pretty much to go on my new channel, just called Stormy Lane. But if you want to go to my other YouTube channel where I make other content like supernatural fan videos or whatever, that's on Tattered Wings. I will put that all up in the thing. Remember when people used to call it doobly-doo? I'm bringing it back. Yeah. Oh my god. It is -8 degrees in Minnesota. And we did not put plastic on our windows. So I really wanted to talk about this story. This is the whole reason why I started this channel. I'm a true crime fan pretty much my whole life. The first thing I ever heard about was the Branch Davidians and Waco and stuff like that, because I'm from Dallas, so it was like a big thing. And then my mom was always talking about David Crush for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know, maybe she's a murderino too. My favorite murder reference. Ooh. It's so good that I did this after coffee, because I would be very boring. This is going to be the story of Craig Sorger, and he was a 13-year-old autistic boy. I will put the link down for the Wikipedia in the doobly-doo. I've actually spoken to Jake Eakin before, and let me tell you, not a fan. If you don't know, Jake Eakin was one of Craig Sorger's murderers. He has been out for a little bit, and do I think he's learned his lesson? No. Or in the words of Bailey Sarian, nay. He has not learned his lesson. And I'm going to be putting a lot of my personal opinions on this one, because I feel like, as someone who actually did kind of talk to him, and I've been blocked by him before. I think he unblocked me at some point, and then he blocked me again, and then I don't know where we stand right now. He has said that he would kill again. I don't know. Kind of like if he could get away with it or something. I don't know. You realize that he found Jeebus like 2 weeks after he had escaped prison. You're like, are you kidding me? Why is he free? He did not find Jeebus. He was trying to appeal to the parole board, and that shit always happens. They always do that. They always say, oh yeah, I found Jeebus, let me out. And they're like, okay, fine, whatever. Let's get into this story. It's a sad one, so trigger warning. This might not be your cup of tea. You wanna see my dog? Isn't he so freaking cute? Minion. I promise I'm gonna edit this. I have so many blankets on me. Like, what the hell? It's cold, y'all. Anyway. Oh. Okay, let's get somber here, because this is about the murder of a child, a 13-year-old autistic child. And as someone who is autistic, this story really resonated with me even before I figured out I was autistic. In fact, I would have to say that this is the reason why I kind of started looking into autism. As I said, is about the murder of Craig Sorger from Ephrata, Washington. He was murdered by two 12-year-old boys, Jake Eakin and Evan Savoie. This happened in 2003. He was invited by these boys to go play in the park, and his mom said, sure, whatever, but he's kind of afraid of the dark, so bring him back before then. I'm paraphrasing. So then they went to the park, and Evan told Craig to feel the ground to see if it's wet for some reason. And he made it a game. He's like, and count to 10. And Craig did so because he had no reason to believe he was about to be brutally murdered. So Evan, I think he like climbed some sort of like an embankment or something, and he dropped a basketball sized rock, almost like a boulder, I would imagine. So yeah, Evan dropped a boulder essentially onto Craig's neck, and that unfortunately did not kill him. It knocked him to the ground, and Evan, I guess, jumped down and like started beating him and stabbing him. And then Jake, instead of running for help, he decided to join in by beating Craig in the head and legs with a tree branch, which he honestly says isn't that bad. But if you think about it, this kid has already been cracked over the neck with a basketball-sized boulder, if you will. He was like, oh, it wasn't that big of a deal. I just hit him over the head with a tree branch. And it's like, okay, but he just got hurt really badly. So even the smallest little clunk on the head, is clunk a word? Clunk on the head could cause a major fracture. Do you not know how skulls work? Especially when your brain isn't fully developed. Your skull isn't going to be completely hardened yet. That's why children shouldn't be playing really rough sport. Getting jostled around is not good for their brains. But that's another story. I'm from a football town. They were both charged with first-degree murder, despite maintaining their innocence. But throughout the process, like, they kept on changing their stories. They were like, oh, at one point he was up in the tree, and then we called out for him or something, and he fell out of the tree. It's like, okay, well, if he fell out of the tree, then why didn't you call 911? But you know what they ended up doing? They covered up Craig with leaves, and I think they just went home. And then as night fell, Sorger's mom was like worried as F. He hadn't returned home. She even went to Evan's house. She found out that Evan and Jake had already returned home, but Craig wasn't there. So then she called 911, and they went to search the park, and they soon discovered his dead body in a pile of leaves near a trail in the park. His autopsy revealed that in addition to being beaten... You okay? Then the trial happened. Claimed their innocence, of course. But they were charged with first-degree murder and tried as adults in February of 2005. At 12 years old, they became the youngest murder defendants tried as adults in the state since 1931. This is the craziest part. On June 12, 2016, Eakin escaped from work release while he was serving the last few months of his sentence. Like, what the hell? He was recaptured 2 days later by U.S. Steinschmidt by U.S. Marshals in Rapid City, South Dakota. So not only did he escape prison, but he went across state lines. But he was only gone for 2 days, so... He was returned to custody, and his sentence was extended due to his escaped attempt, which I actually didn't know, because I honestly thought that at this point he found Jeebus and then they just let him go. But that isn't actually what happened. They actually did give him a little bit more time, I guess. I don't know how much time they gave him. I don't think it was that long, though. But I think he ended up finding Jeebus, and the parole board was like, okay, he's rehabilitated. He's not a murderer anymore, you guys. It's totally fine. Let him out. He was released and is now an anti-abortion activist in Washington. Evan was incarcerated in the Airway Heights Corrections Center and released just last year in June 2020. I did not actually know that. I will say this about Evan, at least he isn't in the public eye. If you know anything about Jake Eakin, he cannot shut up for a second. He is, oh my god, he's the worst. I don't think he's learned his lesson. He has said before that he would kill again. He said this on Facebook. I'm sure that it's not really a hate group. I mean, can you really hate a murderer? Like, are there any oh yeah, I guess there are. I was gonna say, are there fans of like Manson and shit? Yeah, I guess there is. There are. But you know what? There's also I was about to say there's no fans of Jake Eakin, but there are. There are people. It's seriously a cult. One of the things is so heartbreaking. The things that Craig was saying while he was being brutally murdered was, "Why are you doing this to me?" 2005, Lisa Sorger, who was Craig's mother, she was also interviewed. She was recounting how when she touched Craig, she said, "He's still warm." And the police had to tell her that's because he was rolled over into the leaves and the leaves had retained his body heat. This is where I'm going to leave it, where I'm going to leave this, because this is going to be so freaking long. I could probably do like 80,000 different videos on this guy, but the one thing that I'm going to leave you with is one of my favorite quotes from Jake, and it's, "I'm a kid. I'm a kid, you guys. They're not going to put me in prison. I'm a kid. They can't do that. Serious. I'm a kid. You can't charge me as an adult. Stupid. Wait, are you charging me as an adult? The fuck?" Anyway, so that's where I'm gonna leave it. I'm pretty sure, I mean, if I can think of anything else that I want to talk about this dude, I mean, just know that he's a horrible person. He's constantly harassing people, gay people. He thinks he's a saint to trans people by convincing them not to transition. He thinks that women are murderers if they go into Planned Parenthood for any reason. If they're just getting condoms or, you know, trying to get a mammogram, they are murderers. Yay! Okay, so that was my first video. I know it was a mess. I'm gonna try to be more structured next time. Hopefully. I hope y'all enjoyed it. If you didn't, I don't care. Bye!